18, 26, 29. I love watching this go up. 33. Morning, fans. It's a new day. It's a good day. No work today. Got to work tomorrow. Where to buy good home gym equipment? I would recommend Offer Up in about 2 weeks, brah. Be able to get everything fucking 50% off. This would be the worst time in the world to buy brand new gym equipment. Okay. Big J debuting yet another hairstyle. Today we are going slicked straight back. Like the Pat Riley look from the 80s Lakers. I think this might be a winner. The straight back look. So anyway, tonight at midnight, Governor Ron DeSantis, phase 1 of opening up Florida's economy goes in effect. Having a bottle of root beer. I know I shouldn't be having the sugar, but I sure do love root beer. Straight shave that head now. I like the slick back look. What are your thoughts on Tom Prince high test only off season? You know, I was really naive about how much juice the pros did or do. And I remember a kid I hung out with who knew a lot more about what the pros were doing than I did. And he told me that in the off season, most pros, their cruise cycle was a gram. And I did not just misspeak. A gram. 1,000 milligrams of test a week. That was their off-season cruise. And I thought, that's fucking crazy. No fucking way. Because I'm thinking, I do 1,000 milligrams of test on a blast cycle. Sometimes not even. Sometimes 800-900 is plenty. You know, and he's like trying to explain it to me. No, these guys are doing 2 grams of test and a gram of tren a week, in season. So cutting down to a gram of test is like nothing to them. They're usually injecting 3 grams. So that was a big wake-up call for me to find out that pros were cruising on a gram of test a week. Now, you guys that keep up with me might know I've been cruising on a gram a week, but I do it a little differently. The cruise that I was on, and I would still be on, but I ran out of Deca, I was doing 1 cc of test 400, 1 cc of Deca 300, and 1 cc of EQ 300. Now, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to add that up. That equals 1,000 milligrams or 1 gram. So, really, I've built up to doing a gram for a cruise. Now, I personally believe that high test only cycles aren't that good. And so a high test cruise, the same rules apply. Test only lowers your shit. I'm at a loss for the word. What's the name of that shit that makes your fucking tendons and shit? Your oh fuck me! Can't believe I can't come think of that word. What's the shit? Collagen. Test only cycles lower collagen. That's proof. That's science. That's not bro science. So, you tell me how you're going to feel on 1,000 milligrams of test a week as your collagen starts to crash. So, what I did is I add the EQ and the Deca because those are two of the best collagen producers known to man. And dude, I felt great cruising on a gram a week. In fact, I think 400 tests is enough. My dick still worked, but I had the benefits of having the EQ and the DECA in my cruise, so that my joints felt absolutely fantastic. And adding in some anabolics into your cruise, I think you can maintain more muscle, even though technically on paper testosterone is stronger. So that's just bro science on my part. I think that stacking an anabolic with your cruise will help you maintain more muscle, because an anabolic only has one job, and that's to build or preserve muscle. Whereas testosterone also has sex hormone qualities. Like a drug like EQ doesn't have any sex hormone activity. Doing a shot of EQ is not going to help your boners. And a shot of DECA is going to do the exact opposite. But I really handled 1 cc of DECA rather well. No sexual side effects doing 1 cc of DECA. I currently am out of DECA, which isn't, you should take a break from DECA. I did a 10 cc vial, and that's it. So now I'm cruising on just test and EQ. And so what I'm probably going to do, since I did a shot of DECA, I believe last Saturday or last weekend when I was in the hotel room. So I'm technically not off DECA, but I don't have any to do my shot today. So today I've got to make a decision. Do I up the EQ to stay at 1 gram, or do I up the test? And I probably, no matter what I say here and now, I probably won't make that decision until I'm drawing the oil out of the wheel. I could go a cc and a half a test and a cc and a half of EQ and keep it somewhat balanced, or I could go heavy on the EQ, or I could go heavy on the test. I'm going to do a 3 cc shot today, no matter what. Now, considering I am headed back to Delray, maybe I should jack up the test. And, there might be some unsuspecting butt fuck victims in my near future. As long as they walk like a girl, talk like a girl, it's a girl to me, bro. Take synthol, that's stupid. Con of being a trucker is that you get fat as soon as fuck. ASF. What's ASF? Getting fat as a trucker is all a personal decision. Like, I don't have to have, if I stop and get a sandwich and a quart of milk, okay, do I have to get that little bag of Cool Ranch Doritos? No, I don't. But I like them. So, and think about it. If every day for lunch you're getting a turkey sub and a quart of milk, which is I know bread's not the best, yada yada yada. But anyway, if you add a little bit, the small bags, not a big bag, but if you add the big grab size, if you add a little bag of Cool Ranch Doritos to your diet Cool Ranch Doritos to your diet every day, you're going to gain weight. And the salt is even worse than the fucking calories. It's the beer, stupid. Yeah, that's good advice. Thank you. I know that. I probably won't drink the next 2 weeks while I'm in Delray, or unless Brad tricks me into drinking. Because a lot of times I have the best intentions in the world. I'm not drinking. And Brad will trick me. Brad is real good at conning someone into being his little drinking buddy. Let's see the piss jug. Brand new piss jug. Only pissed once. But I'm also on my first beer. So we're going to get a lot of use out of that piss jug. You said you wanted to do a drinking workout. Well, not in the beginning. Like if we're doing heavy chest or heavy back, we're gonna get our first 2 exercises out of the way. Then maybe then we're popping tops and fucking smoking fucking the vaporizer. Liver failure urine. No, dehydrated urine. Dipshit. My liver's fine. What does EQ do for you aside from joint relief? EQ is very anabolic. EQ, a lot of people think EQ is bullshit because it's such a slow muscle builder that a lot of people, if you only get 110cc vial of it, by the time you're out of EQ, you really haven't even started making gains yet. Like, let's say you get a vial of EQ 250. To see anything, you need to do 2 cc's a week, 500 minimum. So you're doing 2 cc's a week. You're doing 500 milligrams of EQ for 5 weeks. And at the end of the 5 weeks, you're out of EQ. And you're like, fuck, I haven't fucking gained shit. Well, you didn't stay on it long enough. Some people say EQ cycles need to be 16 weeks. Some people say 12 weeks minimum. I say EQ cycles should be 52 weeks. Someone just sent me a message on Facebook. I hate it when that happens. I hate Facebook Messenger. Unless it's some chick saying, hey, meet me here. I want to suck your cock. Equipoise is recommended for treating debilitated horses. Yeah. 52 weeks. What the fuck? Yeah. Tell me, if you never have, once you're over 40 and you're on TRT, and you're going to be on test for the rest of your life, tell me why you can't do a cc of EQ with your cc of test forever. When should someone start TRT? As soon as you can find a doctor that'll do it for you. Don't be stupid, my friend. You look like a soy boy in those glasses. Yeah, these are just dollar store readers. I can't really see close without reading glasses. Like, I don't wear these driving or doing anything else. My phone being this close to my face is a little blurry without some readers. Roids are for cowards. Coming from the guy with no profile picture and a fake name. Okay, we're the cowards. Fuck it. Test 500 and D-ball for life. You know, I love orals. Orals are great, but orals, test in an oral is really not a great cycle, because you need a steady anabolic in your system. So in a test and D-ball cycle, you're using test as your major anabolic, because your test levels doing an injectable oil-based test are going to be rather stable. That's going to be your primary anabolic. So you're using a sex hormone to be your primary anabolic, and then you're using your orals for temporary spikes, which I recommend pre-workout you do your D-ball. That's not going to work as good as if you use your testosterone as a sex hormone, and then you add a DECA, an EQ, a Primobolan, or a Tren as your primary anabolic. And then you use your orals for temporary spikes, which I also, in the cycle like that, would recommend pre-workout. Let your test be your primary sex hormone, and then add another injectable to be your primary anabolic. Because if you add a primary anabolic to testosterone, you don't need as much testosterone. Because like a drug like Tren is a receptor hog. Tren is going to occupy as many fucking androgen receptors as it can find, okay? So what that's going to do is that's going to keep more of your testosterone, free testosterone, in your bloodstream where it belongs. So if you're doing Tren, if you're doing test, Tren, and D-ball, which is a great cycle, you don't need as much test because the Tren is occupying all the androgen receptors. You only need to do as much test as it takes to keep your dick working. You're not going to gain any muscle doing more test with Tren. You're just not. It's stupid. All you're going to do is create bitch tit problems, bloated problems, acne, all the bad side effects. All right. You guys get bored with me talking about juice, but I love it. Elio Bra said he is actually telling the truth here. Yeah, dude. If you stack an injectable anabolic with your test, you don't need as much test. And you just use your orals for temporary spikes. And remember, temporary spikes are not the ticket for growth. Steady hormone levels are the ticket for growth. Do you think basketball season will start again? Who really has interest in the NBA in fucking June? I mean, anybody? I mean, no one wants to restart the regular season because the teams that are mathematically out of the playoffs, why would you play another game this season? So, yeah, I've heard that Disney has offered to have all the playoff games in Orlando. How amazing would that be if the entire NBA playoffs were held at Walt Disney World in Orlando? That would be insane. So ice hockey, I think from a health standpoint, that an ice arena in the middle of a pandemic is the absolute worst idea in the world. Hockey should be over with, done with, go to bed. Hockey, we'll see you next fall, maybe. I don't know how much interest there'd be in the NBA playoffs in June. I mean, baseball's going to get going. NASCAR, I believe, is starting up next weekend, but with no fans. We're gonna have golf. We're gonna have sports very shortly. Just so the opening up of sports is going to be huge. So I'm just wondering how much interest is there in a winter sport like basketball in June when all the other summer sports are starting up. I don't know. What about soccer, Jay? I don't watch pro soccer. I think pro soccer is weak. I am exclusively, when it comes to soccer, a World Cup fan, and hopefully some of you guys that are not from the States will back me up on this. That there's nothing like the World Cup. Pro soccer can't compare. I mean, everybody loves the World Cup. It's like if you're going to watch, every sport has that. Like, if you're going to watch a soccer game, and it's the only soccer game you're ever going to watch all year, you watch the World Cup finals. If you're only going to watch one NASCAR race a year, you watch the Daytona 500. If you're only going to watch one football game a year, you watch the Super Bowl. every sport has, and golf, now golf we can argue. Some people will say you watch the Masters. Not so fast, my friend. What about the U.S. Open? I really like the U.S. Open. But that's just me. You know, it's my opinion. World Cup is the pinnacle. There we go. Somebody backing me up. I'd rather watch porn, Jay. Did you just buckle then unbuckle your seatbelt? No, I popped the top on a beer with my fucking seatbelt. You clown. Ryder Cup for golf, USA versus Europe. That's good too. I like the Ryder Cup. Master, PGA Champion, US Open, British Open, all 4 majors. Thank you, Bob. Bob, we're going to start calling you Captain Obvious. All-wheel drive power. I love that name. Ugh. I used to have a Subaru. I'll tell you what, that Outback wagon, I would love to build up a fucking race wagon on the Outback chassis. And I don't know, does Subaru make a V6 or just a turbocharged 4? I know that the Impreza WRX, isn't that just a fucking raped to the fucking gills fucking 4-cylinder with screaming turbo power? Or does Subaru make like a race V6? No EJ motor. Those suck. I don't know what that means. No, why couldn't you put a WRX motor in an Outback wagon? That would be, I mean, I know it'd be heavier, but all that glass over the rear wheels, think of the traction. What sport do you wish you would have tried? Porn. I don't know. I've tried just about every sport. I have 0 basketball skills. Even as a kid, couldn't play the game. Couldn't dribble, couldn't shoot, couldn't guard anybody, couldn't do nothing. I have absolutely 0 baseball skills. The only sports I've been any good at was soccer, football, a little bit of wrestling, track and field. I have a ton of experience in because I started out as a distance runner. In the 8th grade, I broke the school record in the 2-mile run. Ran a 10:59. Yeah, Big J in the 8th grade broke 11 minutes in the 2-mile run in the 8th grade. And it's still the school record at Baker Middle School in Troy, Michigan. You guys don't believe me? Fact check it. And then when I got to high school, I didn't go out for track right away. In 9th grade, I still ran distance. And then I got into football and wrestling and pumping iron. I even did the swim team for a year. I was a pretty good swimmer. They don't swim in yards anymore. But back in the day, I did a 50-yard freestyle, I believe, in 23 seconds, which is pretty good. Not great, but pretty good. I mean, I think I was like 220 pounds. I mean, I was big. I was 6 foot 220, fucking launching off the fucking starting blocks like Shamu. But I had such strength that I could just crank for 50 yards. And I think I did a 23 something. Not 23 flat, 23 something. I broke 24. So then I pretty much tried all the sports. And then senior year, I'm in line getting a lunch. And my history teacher, who was a pretty good guy, he's sitting there next to me. We're both waiting for our lunch. And he says, "You should think about coming out for the track team." I'm like, "What?" And he's like, "Yeah, I think you could do the shot put." I'm like, "Okay, I'll give it a try. I don't care." So I go out for the track team in the 12th grade, and I'm just absolutely terrible at the shot put in the beginning, just terrible. Because that's the shot put is all technique. But I wound up getting pretty decent throughout the season. Wound up winning my league, winning my county. Yeah, I was the Oakland County champ in Oakland County, Michigan. And there's a lot of good schools in Oakland County. Don't believe me? Google it. I won Oakland County in the shot put as a senior year. I wound up getting, I can't remember what I got in the state. 5th or 6th or 7th in the state. Can't remember. But anyway, I wound up getting recruited. Just barely did the sport. Got recruited by a few directional schools. And if you guys don't know what directional schools are, those are the ones that are like Northwest, Southwest, you know what I'm saying? Northeast. So anyway, I wound up going to Eastern Michigan University, Division I school, and I excelled in track as a big man. Won the Mid-American Conference a couple times. Won a few big meets. So that's about it for me in sports. Oh, I've done strongman. I've done powerlifting, obviously. So that's it for my athletic career. That little episode in South Dakota put an end to my sports career. Quite possibly the stupidest thing I've ever done in my life. Trying to squat 600 at 50 years old. Stupid. Rugby. I played a little club rugby. I never played in a game, but I went to a couple practices. It was a lot of fun. How much did you weigh when running? Dude, in the 8th grade, I was probably 145 pounds. I was still a big kid. Want to see you recreate the 2-mile run. Jesus Christ. I couldn't imagine. Have you heard Tony Huge saying he beat coronavirus with roids? Well, I got an idea of a cycle that'll kill. I guarantee you, no virus is going to want to be on your body alongside tren in your bloodstream. Tren kills things. You guys don't believe me? Do a nice cycle of tren, and then once the tren is really in your system, have your girlfriend give you a blowjob and have her swallow. She'll be like, what the fuck did I just what the fuck did you just shoot in my mouth? I heard a story one time. Guy was talking about how his wife loved facials. He loved it when at the very end, he would pull it out of her mouth and then jack off and squirt cum all over her face. I guess she really got off on it. Well, he was on a trend cycle and didn't really think about it. And his wife's all horny. She's like, honey, I want you to come on my face. So that, they're doing it and all that. And he fucking pulls the dick out of her mouth at the last second, jacks off, squirts on her face. And the fucking bitch gets up, screaming, running to the fucking bathroom. You motherfucker, what did you just do to me? My face is burning. And I don't know if that's true or not. I know the story's true. I just don't know how true the science is that the bitch's fucking face was burning. So how's the coronavirus going to live in an environment like that? Add in some Masteron or some Proviron. No chance for that virus to live in that environment. God damn. Sweating like collie muscle trying to read. Probably not true, my friend. I'll tell you what. I had a girl complain about the nastiness of my cum on a trend cycle. And I've heard other people say it too. I saw that. Jason Genova's cutting. Oh, Urban Farmer, what's up, brah? Yeah, I heard that about nicotine. And some doctors are prescribing the patch to lessen the effects of the coronavirus, which is pretty amazing. I didn't steal a gumball machine till my the summer between my freshman and sophomore year in college. That's where I got my misdemeanor. Oh. Winter bulk completed. Now time to cut. What a clown he is. He thinks he can get down to 180 or 190 pounds. He couldn't even do that trying to train for the Ruby. Remember, I was the one who told that idiot, you need to cut down to fucking middleweight and try and get a trophy? Because what's middleweight? Under 190, like 189 pounds? I can't remember what I told Jason to cut to. I thought it was like 189 and a half, 189 and 3/4, 189 and a quarter. I don't know. You guys would know better than me. But I told that idiot to cut to 189 so he could be in the other weight class. He wouldn't listen. Wouldn't listen. Maybe it's not 189 because isn't light heavy 198 where Dale should compete? I'm not sure. Or did I tell Jason to cut to 179? I don't know. Someone Google the fucking weight classes for the NPC. You once told Jason to cut to 154.25 for lightweight. No, I didn't. 178. Yeah. Man, 176.25 is middleweight. Thank you. That's what Genova should do. That's the only way that kid is going to do anything. These beers are fucking me up. Oh, I've had 2 beers since we started this video. Drinking the Voodoo Ranger Imperial IPA. 9.0% alcohol by volume. These things are fucking crazy. Plus, look at that bottle. What a cool looking bottle. If you don't like that logo on the label, you're an idiot. Who wins the Super Bowl next year, Jay? Tampa Bay, you clown. The fuck? Tom Brady. The fuck are you? Are you fucking new to sports? I actually like KC's chances of repeating. On a serious note. KC drafted a fucking stud cover corner out of University of Michigan. I don't understand how Kansas City was able to secure such a fucking stud of a cover corner in the draft. What's his name? Lavert Hill out of Michigan got drafted by the Chiefs. That dude is incredible. He is a legitimate shutdown corner. So now the Chiefs got, I think, pretty much everybody coming back. Aren't they losing some bum of a receiver, though? I'm not sure. Tampa Bay or Tampa Brady? No, the mayor told him that. I have mixed feelings about Tom going to Tampa. It's almost like when O.J. Simpson went to the San Francisco 49ers, or the great Joe Namath went to the Rams. Everybody remembers Joe Montana going to the Chiefs. Um, Marcus Allen had to go somewhere. Where did Marcus Allen go? I can't even remember. He left the Raiders. Where did Marcus Allen go? That's a sad story. Marcus Allen really got fucked over by Al Davis. Jay, if you lost 60 pounds, you would look like Tony Curtis's double. Dude, people have been telling me that for years. Jamie Lee Curtis's dad. And doesn't he have a butt chin? He might have a butt chin. But I've been told by many, many people that I look like Tony Curtis. And I've looked at some of his pictures. Franco Harris went to Seattle. That's scary. What about legendary Larry Zonka? Fucking won Super Bowls with the Dolphins, and then I think he went to the AF. He went to the new league, and then after that didn't work out, he came back to the NFL as a New York Giant. Larry Zonka is a New York Giant. I know Joe Montana went to KC. Where did Marcus Allen of the Raiders go? Oops. There goes my tablet. Marcus Allen. I can't place it. I gotta plug in, boys. Got a dying battery. He went to KC as well? Marcus Allen and Joe Montana played together? That's crazy. Well, thanks, guys. I appreciate that. Dave Palumbo is full of shit. Guys, before we get crazy talking about Gronk, let me ask you a serious question. Gronk has fucking concussion problems. Can Gronk pass his physical to come back in the league? Um, you know, you gotta be somewhat of a shady doctor. If a guy retires from the league because of concussions, do you want to be the doctor that lets him back in the league? Do you want your signature on that piece of paper when that guy gets whacked in the head and is on the fucking turf, motionless? And I don't know if Gronk is married or not, but imagine looking in the eyes at the hospital. You're the team doctor, and your guy just went to the ambulance, went to the hospital with a head injury. Are you going to be able to look his wife or his kids in the eye? Or are you going to be a fucking coward? Because I'm not a doctor, and I don't know shit about concussions, never had one. But are you going to let that guy back in the league? Sure, the NFL wants him. But the NFL, you think they care about people? Some doctors actually care about people. So Tampa, if Tampa's got an ethical doctor that cares about people, he might not pass fucking Gronk. Gronk's had his bell rung more times than just about anybody. What should I do if someone gives me a dirty look? Well, that's easy. You fuck their girlfriend. Chris Benoit said he got so many concussions that he lost count. Yeah, and is marijuana legal in the NFL? Because I know Gronk has been smoking so much goddamn weed. Oh, it's the rattling more than the concussions that cause CTE. All the small hits. I played D1 fullback years ago. Dude, I love fullbacks. I I love fullbacks. Um, Jim Harbaugh, the coach of Michigan, he's got a great quote about fullbacks. And if you haven't heard it yet, you're going to love it. He says, first of all, one of Harbaugh's great quotes, it might be the same quote, but he starts off, you can never have too many tight ends on your roster. And then he continues on to say, and having a fullback is like having an extra tight end, except they're shorter and meaner. Dude, that's gold right there. That's gold. But think about it. You can't have too many tight ends on your roster. A tight end can play damn near every position on the goddamn team. Except for maybe defensive back. Oh. Favorite NFL fullback? God, they haven't played fullback in the NFL for years, but I would have to go with a Michigan guy, Leroy Horde of the Minnesota Vikings. I don't think he played fullback in the NFL, but he was a fullback at Michigan. You want to tackle a fucking you want to get your bell rung? Go try and tackle Leroy Horde of the Minnesota Vikings. That's back in the days when Michigan played the wishbone, but they played a power bone. I remember I was at the 1989 Rose Bowl, and Michigan just had a stable full of running backs. They were playing the wishbone, but and they had Leroy Horde at fullback, and then the two guys in the back two positions were Jared Bunch, who I think was like 6'3", 230, fullback size, playing tailback, and then they had Tony Bowles, who was a speedster. So I don't know how you would build a defense. And with Michigan's offensive line, back in those days, running the wishbone, they got Leroy Horde at fullback, Jared Bunch at fucking tailback. They don't call him tailback. That's the I formation. What do you call the back running backs in the bone? Wasn't Jerome Bettis a fullback? Maybe at Notre Dame. Boy, Jerome Bettis played in one hell of a backfield at Notre Dame. The guy that Jerome Bettis shared the backfield with, got drafted in the NFL, never played a single down in the NFL, because I believe after the draft, he was involved in that airplane crash into the Everglades in Florida, where everybody died. I'm pretty sure everybody died. I think the first responders were fucking horrified when they showed up, because this plane went down in the fucking Everglades, and when they got there, the gators were eating all the bodies. No shit. Look it up. The wishbone triple option is a running play where either the fullback, the quarterback, or one of the halfbacks, also called running backs or tailbacks, runs the ball. There we go. Dude, I love the wishbone. That is the sweetest offense in the world. It's so fucking hot. I'm sitting here in the truck stop with my windows down, the engine not running, no air conditioning, just trying to chill. Because I think I got nobody parked next to me, so I got a good breeze coming through the cab with both windows open. But it's still, I can tell you how hot it is. I turn on my key for a second.
And then it's directly.
It's not going to tell. My dashboard says 102, but that's because the temperature sensors. My engine, even though I'm not running, must have heated up the fucking asphalt. It's not 102. It's probably about fucking 90. It's fucking hot. And I'm sitting here fucking drinking brews with no air conditioning. But it's good for you. That's how you fucking get your body to adjust. Will you visit Jason's museum? No. Like I told you guys, I'm going to wait till he posts a live stream from downtown Delray and I know he's not home. And I'm going to fucking kick in his door and steal all his shit. He's a fucking moron. What the fuck are you talking about? Visit his museum. What do I want a bunch of Star Wars crap for? Ugh. Trying to get the cap off. I'm popping tops, brah. Okay, Jason's museum. I don't even know if we're going to... Jay, how are your knees? Can you lift heavy again? Absolutely not. I am probably... I could probably do some box squats with maybe 2 1/4. Do you guys know what the safety bar is? That squat bar that has the handles with the pads that come around your neck, and you hold your hands up front like this. For my injury, safety bar squats are key. And I should also be doing box squats. And instead of using all dead weight, chains. So my future in lifting lower body is safety bar box squats with chains. I know that's a mouthful, but that's the best I can come up with. Do you regret that lift? Yeah, I guess I do. Oh. Do you still have the puke bucket? No. Do you ever use an axle bar? The only time I've ever used an axle bar was when I was in a strongman competition, the 2012 Florida State Championships. We had to do a clean and press with an axle bar with Hummer tires on it. And I believe for the Masters division, because I was over 40, we had, I believe, 225 on an axle bar. And dude, cleaning 225 on an axle with Hummer tires is a motherfucker. I wouldn't recommend it. I don't like it. You were too dry when you did that lift. I agree. And I think another thing that I'm not positive, but I think another thing that contributed to my injury was I didn't point my toes out enough on the squat. I watch some of these West Side guys squat, and they are so duck-footed when they squat heavy weights. Whereas I normally kept my fucking feet somewhat straightforward. I didn't duck squat at all. And I'm not sure that's good, but I don't know. Yeah, it's fucking hot. I don't even need product to slick my hair back. You guys aren't sold on the slicked back Big J look? I like it. Because you didn't point your toes out far enough, you had too much strain on your quads. I tend to agree with you. I think that's a valid point. Yeah, I know I had a wide squat, but I did not have my toes pointed out. My toes were pointed straight forward. High box squats and rack DLs are probably a good move based on your injury. I can deadlift from the floor, bro. I agree with you about the high box squats, and especially with chains, because that way I can get off the fucking bar or off the box with a relatively easy weight, and then as the chains come off the fucking ground, that's when the puts the load on. But no, I don't need rack deadlifts. I can pull from the floor. Absolutely. Comb it off to the side and grow a stash. 9! Achtun, Juden, where are your papers? It's so hot I saw a chicken lay an omelet. Okay, high box squats and stiffs. Yeah, I can do stiffs. I've never been a big fan of them. I never needed them because I always deadlifted from the floor. Jay, do you agree what Arnold said about bubble gut is bad for bodybuilding? Yeah, because men with a bubble gut are men. They're meant to be doing pro wrestling, football, fighting, and other manly acts of God. Whereas people with little trim waists, they need to be up on stage in a Speedo, oiled up, prancing around like a fairy. How badly do you marinate those truck seats with asphalt-smelling farts? Oh, Jesus. If anything, my truck seat smells like dried urine. Do you use product for that volume look? That beer hitting hard now. Love Big J. Dude, I'm only on my fourth one. I'm on my fourth beer. This shit's 9.0% alcohol. If you guys like IPAs, look at that label too, dude. That's fucking badass. The Voodoo Ranger Imperial IPA. Where does it say 9%? Down by the word IPA. I can't find it. Looking at it backwards. There we go. 9%. Dude. These things kick you in the face with a fucking SS boot. I don't believe in light beer. Show me somebody who's ever lost weight drinking light beer. It's not going to happen. You drink the strongest amount of beer you can find, and you drink less of it because you're shit-faced. Like, what if I was drinking Coors Light right now, which is fucking, ugh. I won't even drink a Coors Light. I'm not, like, what if I was drinking Coors Light and then I decided to go live again 5 hours from now? Oh. IPAs are brewed in hipster bathtubs. Yeah, it's basically, this is Taco Queen bathwater right here. I came up with a good name for fucking Brad's garage gym. What do you guys think about Valerie's House of Pain? And then for the logo, we have the silhouette of a dominatrix in some stiletto heels with a whip. Valerie's House of Pain. And then the logo would have a dominatrix in stilettos with a whip. Not a cat of nine tails. Those are bullshit. Like a long bullwhip. Valerie's House of Pain. Those would be sweet shirts. But unfortunately, we have someone in charge of our our apparel line who doesn't listen to other people. It's like getting a tattoo of your girlfriend's name. Well, Brad, she's living in Brad's house. So you guys might as well get to like Valerie. She ain't going nowhere. See, Brad has a lot of bizarre fetish. So he's kind of a strange guy for women to get to like. And so obviously Valerie lets Brad engage in all of his different fetishes. And for guys, once you find a woman that lets you engage in your fetishes, you're not gonna let them go, because you're not gonna find someone else who will let you do all that weird and peculiar shit in the bedroom. So Brad and Valerie are a match made in heaven, at least in my opinion. All right, homos.